Hi, welcome to Beef Cattle Institute's Ask the Experts. We're happy you've joined us, as have a couple of great experts today, Dr. Dustin Pendle.
Good morning.
And Dr. Philip Lancaster.
Hello.
And we've got them here to debate a great question that was sent in by a listener. If you have a question, you can send it to us at bci@ksu.edu. Today's question focuses on whether I should sell at weaning or I should try to precondition my calves, and based on their answers, they'll get up to 10 points. Dustin, I'm going to start with you first.
Okay, so I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm going to sell at wean. Here's why. I'm a smaller producer. Average herd size here in the U.S. is 40, 45 cows. And so I'm a smaller producer. I work off the farm. That's where my job is. And so I don't have a lot of time to precondition, which would include things like, vaccinations, bunk feeding, breaking them with bunk, things like that. So labor, I don't have the excess labor. Would include some additional feed. Feed costs are higher right now. Interest rates, if I need to borrow money on that, is also, interest rates are up. So those are some of the reasons, I guess, why I would choose to sell a weaning. I just don't have the time, labor. And I realize I'm also foregoing those premiums that come. But
Good point. So the time, convenience factors all tie into that. Philip, what about you?
Yeah, I agree with Dustin that preconditioning requires a higher level of management because I've got to put together a good ration. I've got to have facilities, and I've got to manage those calves. But I think there are definitely some advantages to preconditioning, and it depends on my situation. If I have to put those calves in a dry lot and feed them a totally mixed ration, my feed costs and my cost of gain is definitely a lot higher, and so preconditioning is not as attractive in that situation. But if I've got grass traps where I can just feed a little bit of supplement by hand and they can graze most of the time and spread those calves out, I have less health issues, I don't have as much feed costs, and that makes preconditioning a lot more attractive to add that extra weight in a cost-effective manner and get the premium for the preconditioning component.
Okay, excellent. So taking two different sides of this issue, which I like, and Dustin's out to an early lead with 7-6. Dustin, I'm going to ask you a follow-up question on you're going to sell at weaning. What kind of marketing method are you going to use, or does that matter as you think about selling right off the cow?
The method I'm going to use, again, this is not necessarily my primary source of income. I've got kids that are very active in lots of activities, so I'm just going to take them, drop them off at the sale barn, and just take the price that I get.
Convenience, and basically it's the same argument you had for sell them at weaning, is it's going to be convenience based.
It's lower labor, hopefully. I don't have the time, and then also just the convenience.
And as you said, you're going to take the price that comes through,
but
just because it's
because, and I don't have the time to potentially the precondition and other marketing methods that take more time, but they also come with premiums as well. But I'm willing to forego those premiums.
Okay, excellent. So 8 points for Dustin. Now, Philip, I'm going to ask you from the standpoint, you mentioned several things. I've got to figure whether I'm dry lot or pasture and supplementing. I got to figure a cost of gain. But really what we're concerned about in this side is the value of gain. So give me some tips to kind of manage that value of gain to be sure that what I'm putting on them is going to be worth more in the end.
Mm-hmm. So I think you look at it from both ends. One, I want to keep my cost of gain low so that the value or that I get from that gain is high. But then if I'm going to go through this expense and time and management, I want to have a good marketing plan. I'm not going to just turn around and take those preconditioned calves to the local sale barn on any old given sale day. I'm going to try to get them into a preconditioned sale. And I maybe even use a third-party verification program that verifies that they have been preconditioned for 45 days with 2 rounds of vaccinations and bunk broke and all that kind of stuff. And that may go through my local sale barn, or if I'm a large enough producer, I may do that through a video auction and just sell them right off the ranch.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think great points there. I like that you're being more actively involved in it. And kind of like Dustin said, the convenience is a big part of it. Some of those programs you can participate in, and it can still be pretty convenient, right? Mm-hmm. You're still putting in some additional labor. So Philip ended up with 9 today, Dustin with 8. Thanks for joining us, and if you have questions, you can send us an email at bci@ksu.edu.